All across America and around the world, this is Veterans Radio. This is Veterans Radio.
Welcome to Veterans Radio. I am Jim Fausone. I'm the officer of the deck today. We've got some great programs for you. I think you'll find very interesting. We always want to remind you can find more about Veterans Radio at its Facebook site or at the web. Veteransradio.org is our new URL, veteransradio.org, where we're on the web 24/7. You can find a lot of our podcasts there as well. We post new ones every Tuesday, so you can get a new story, a new interview, something you didn't know before by going to veteransradio.org. And before we get started, we want to thank our sponsors. First up, we want to thank National Veteran Business Development Council, nvbdc.org. It was established to certify both service-disabled and veteran-owned businesses. You'll find out how they can help your business by going to nvbdc.org. We want to thank Legal Help for Veterans. Legal Help for Veterans fights for veterans' disability rights all across the nation. You can reach them at 800-693-4800 or on the web at legalhelpforveterans.com. We want to welcome to Veterans Radio today Robert B. Middleton II, the National Commandant of the Montford Point Marines of America. Robert, welcome to Veterans Radio.
Well, it's an honor and a privilege. Thank you very much for having me.
Well, this is an interesting group to talk about, and it's got an upcoming military banquet and award ceremony on June 23rd of 2024. It'll be held at Burton Manor in Livonia, Michigan. We're going to talk a little bit more about that. But let's start with a little bit about you. You spent 5 years in the Marine Corps and then went on to a quite incredible finance and business consulting career. Give us a thumbnail sketch of your background just so everybody can kind of go, oh man, I can relate to that guy.
Oh, bless your heart. Well, let's see. I was in the United States Marine Corps, 5 years altogether, 3 years active, 2 years in the National Guard. I served during the Vietnam era. I served in the Republic of Vietnam, 68, 69, where I conducted, I was with the Forward Air Command. I was in the Fixed Wing Unit, Forward Air Command, where I coordinated fixed wing airstrikes on enemy targets near the DMZ. And so I'm proud of that heritage and that background with the United States Marine Corps. After that, I came back to the United States. I attended the University of Michigan. I majored in political science, public policy, and administration. Got a background in economics as well and business law. I went on to form a successful consulting company with a background in finance and financial services. I was a consultant for over 25 years. Specializing in marketing and management. Provided financial services and consulting services to both the private and the nonprofit sector, board of directors, technical assistants as well. And so here we are today. I am now retired, well, semi-retired. I enjoy supporting Marines, especially veterans of all military services. And that's what I've been doing for about 15 to 20 years now.
Well, if you want something done, give it to a busy man, and you're a busy man, so things get done. But let's do a little history. Who were the Montford Point Marines?
The Montford Point Marines were the nation's first African Americans inducted into the Marine Corps in 1942. Before that time, there were no men of color in the ranks of the United States Marine Corps. And of course, upon being inducted, they at 8th and I in Washington, D.C., they were forwarded for training to a camp called a segregated camp called Camp Montford Point, New River, North Carolina, Camp Lejeune, North Carolina.
And that's where the name comes from, and why why I want to bring out this history, because folks go, well, who are the Montford Point Marines? Is that a city? Where is that? And it's the camp that this first group of African Americans sworn into the Marine Corps were sent off to train down in, I guess it's Jacksonville, North Carolina, is where it's at. So, and this all followed on the heels, if you will, of President Franklin D. Roosevelt's executive order to desegregate the military. It didn't quite work out very smoothly, and certainly these Marines would have faced all kinds of discrimination as they went south for their training, but ultimately proved themselves up, didn't they?
Absolutely. That is absolutely correct, sir. And they were segregated, although discrimination had been abolished by Franklin Delano Roosevelt. Segregation still remained, and of course, in a place, if you will, where segregation, bitter racism existed and was very prevalent throughout their training, as well on base as well as off base. So, no matter where they went, they were subject to bitter racism and racial segregation. So, yeah.
And I think it's, this is particularly good that the association that you're the head of is keeping this history alive so that our young Marines and our young people can appreciate that history and see where we've come to and where we need to go. I don't think we could imagine today a Marine Corps that didn't have the valiant service of so many African Americans in it. It's just unimaginable, isn't it?
Yeah, very much so, very much so. It is a different Marine Corps now. As a matter of fact, the Marine Corps professes that the Montford Point Marines, helped establish the Marine Corps and turn it into what it is today, which is an integrated, well-oiled green machine, that takes on all ethnicities and men of color and turns it into the most elite fighting force in the world.
Just to give our listeners some context here, and we're talking to the National Commandant of the Montford Point Marines of America, Robert Middleton. Just to give you some context, listeners, between the 7-year period of 1942 to 1949, more than 20,000 men, this would be African American men, were trained at Montford Point. So it gives you some idea of the size of the impact that this initial cohort of men coming forward to say, not only I want to serve, but I want to be a Marine, would have on today's Marine Corps. That was kind of recognized, too, the significance of it by the awarding of a Congressional Gold Medal, which is a pretty big deal. Robert, you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yes, of course. In fact, I played an integral role in helping that come about. I collaborated closely with the Marine Corps and the Pentagon to arrange for travel arrangements and lodging for those World War II Black Marines across the United States of America. They were awarded the Congressional Gold Medal by President Barack Obama and the 112th United States Congress in the year 2012. And at that time, there were approximately 450 of those men from all over the United States who had come to Washington, D.C. to participate in that ceremony. And some of them had even checked out of hospice in order to be present for that ceremony on that hot summer day.
Yeah, it is an amazing tribute to a community when it receives the Congressional Gold Medal. Obviously, not lightly given out, often given out when there has been historically overlooking the service of various people and communities. And so this goes to the whole Montford Point Marines. That's who gets, we're awarded the medals. We've had Congressional Gold Medals issued to Nisei, Japanese Americans who were in World War II who got overlooked in a lot of accommodations. There have been other groups like that. But this is must have been just an incredible day back in 2012 when this was awarded and all your hard work paid off, Robert.
Well, I would say teamwork as opposed to my hard work. We certainly had the cooperation of the United States Marine Corps, various legislators in the United States Congress, including Miss Corrine Brown, John Boehner, Nancy Pelosi, and numerous others. So it was really a tremendous thing to see in a once in a lifetime situation. One of those unique parts of history, and it was really an honor to be a part of.
Yeah, really something. I'm going to read what is the sort of organizational mission for Montford Point Marine Association. But after I'm done with that, I'm going to have you put some flesh on these bones. The association supports educational assistance programs, veterans programs, community services with an emphasis on improving the social conditions of the growing population of military veterans who are disabled or senior citizens. Almost every organization has a really good mission statement or vision statement. Put some flesh on the bones of that. Tell us what the association is able to accomplish these days.
Well, number one is our mission is to preserve the historical legacy of America's first Black United States Marines. In fact, I wanted to add that since that time of receiving the Congressional Gold Medal, we continue not only to preserve their legacy, but also to seek and identify others who missed the opportunity to receive that award and or their family members, and to make the presentation posthumously. And as a result of that, we found a number of those Marines who had not, in fact, received those honors. At our banquet, as a matter of fact, in June, we will be awarding 6 Congressional Gold Medals to designated family members of those first Black United States Marines. So that will certainly be an honor.
Oh, that's incredible that you're still able to find family representatives to reach out to. And as I say, it's a big deal for the community, not just the individual who Marine or family, but it's really a community recognition. So good transition. Let's talk about it. The annual Heritage Military Banquet and Awards Ceremony is coming up on June 23rd. It'll be held at Burden Manor in Livonia. You have a very interesting program. Let's start with telling us, you just told us a little bit about the Congressional Gold Medals that will be handed out, but tell us what else is planned for that evening.
Well, we will begin with our program. We have a vocalist that will be singing the Star Spangled Banner for us. We will have a 21-gun salute, posting of colors and taps, award presentations of Congressional Gold Medal, the Centenarian Award. We have one of our Montford Point Marines is 101 years old. He is one of remaining approximately 350 to 400 of those first original Black Marines remaining in the United States.
Wow.
His name is Mr. Butler Martin. Yes, so he will be receiving a special Centenarian Award and the Spirit of Detroit Award. Also, we have a young lady who was the first Black transportation designer at the Ford Motor Company. And she, in fact, designed the 1994 Ford Mustang and Thunderbird. She will be receiving the Presidential Lifetime Achievement Gold Medal Award by a gentleman from California named Bill Montgomery, who represents Hidden Pioneers. He will be flying in here to make that award to her. And, of course, our keynote speaker is Major General Cornell Wilson, United States Marine Corps retired, former Director of Manpower and Reserve Affairs.
Okay. Anytime you get a two-star general to show up, it's a big deal. Tell us about General Wilson.
I met General Wilson, as a matter of fact, in 2012, following the presentation of the Congressional Gold Medal. In fact, I met him and his son at the Martin Luther King statue. And so we go all the way back to the year 2012. And we remain friends all these many years. And so Cornell Wilson is really an outstanding Marine, at the top of his career, and one of the best in his profession. And he's certainly a credit to the United States Marine Corps, and we honor him.
We're talking to National Commandant Robert Middleton of the Montford Point Marines of America and their upcoming gala on June 23rd. Robert, before we run out of time here, tell folks, hey, this sounds interesting. I should go to this. I should bring my uncle to this. I should bring my grandson to this. How do they find out more about the upcoming banquet and participate?
Absolutely. They can go to our website at www.montfordpointmarinesamerica.org. They can also contact me directly at 313, our headquarters number, 300-0165, and or email me at rmiddleton_@hotmail.com.
Well, we think you'll have a great banquet here. It's clearly a wonderful program. It's keeping the history of these first Marines, African-American Marines who went to Camp Montford Point alive, and I think that's important, as I said, for not only looking back but looking forward. Robert, thank you for some time here on Veterans Radio and for all that you're doing for future Marines as well.
Well, thank you very much. We certainly think that we have a lot to offer, all ages, all branches of the United States military. And, of course, we look forward to this event on the 23rd of June. And there also will be entertainment and dancing. We want to add that into the mix as well for those who not only like to come in here, but also like a little activity as well. So,
yeah, and I skipped over. There's undoubtedly food and drink as well. I mean, it's a full banquet.
Yes, it will be, indeed.
Well, again, thanks, Robert, for the time.
You are very welcome. I'm very glad to have been a participant here.
And I want to thank everybody for listening to Veterans Radio today. I am Jim Fausone. It's been a pleasure to be your host. I'm a veterans disability lawyer at Legal Help for Veterans, and you can reach us at 800-693-4800 or legalhelpforveterans.com on the web. You can follow Veterans Radio on Facebook and listen to its podcasts and internet radio shows
by visiting us at veteransradio.org. That's veteransradio.org.
And until next time, you are dismissed.
If you have a VA claim denied by the Board of Veterans' Appeals, contact Legal Help for Veterans at 1-800-693-4800. They're experts in handling cases before the U.S. Court of Appeals for Veterans Claims. Their number again, 1-800-693-4800.
We again want to thank our national sponsors, the National Veterans Business Development Council, NVBDC.org, VA Ann Arbor Health Care System, the Vietnam Veterans of America Charles S. Kettles Chapter, Ann Arbor, Michigan, VFW Graf O'Hara Post 423 in Ann Arbor, and the American Legion Press Corn Post 46, also in Ann Arbor. We appreciate all your support. You can go to veteransradio.net, click on the sponsor level, and continue to support keeping Veterans Radio on the air. And until next time, you are dismissed.